Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rafneet and I am back with my Those Eyeshadows update. This is a super exciting update as I was not anticipating to get that many pans this update. Before we get into the update, I just want to mention quickly the original creator of this project. So this project was created by Alexi and I will link her down below. Main purpose of this project is just to roll 5 random eyeshadows and work towards hitting pan on them. I really love this project because it allows me to be creative with, unpredictable color stories, and I have so much progress to share with you guys. So without further ado, let's get started. And the very first eyeshadow that we were working for, I guess 2-3 months now, comes from my Natasha Denona, not a palette, but it's a single that I got with a purchase from Sephora. So this is in the shade called Helio. Let me give you guys a swatch. So this is how it looks like, and this is how it was looking like last update, and this is how it's looking like today. I am so excited to get pan on this one. As you can see, the pans are very shallow. I had no idea last update on how long it's gonna take me to get pan on this eyeshadow. Jamie here on YouTube told me that it took her 21 uses to get pan on her Natasha Denona eyeshadow, but this is a single eyeshadow and I believe there's not a lot of product in here either. Oh yeah, there's only 0.4 grams of product, so that's the reason it took me 18 uses to hit pan. So last update I had 15 uses on this one, and then I only had to use it 3 more times to get the pan. And I had some previous uses on this eyeshadow as well, so it took me a total of 19 uses to get the pan. I guess I only had one previous use. Anyway, you can see the pan is very shallow, so I was using this eyeshadow with my finger, and that's how I hit pan as well. So I was finger swatching it and I got the pan, which is really exciting. So this one is rolling out. This is so funny because last update I wasn't too sure if this is something I'd be able to hit pan or not, because the dip was not very prominent, but little did I know that the pan is very shallow. Of course I should have known better because I should have looked at the amount of product that is in here, but this is rolling out nonetheless. And moving on to the next eyeshadow. It is also been here for I guess 3 months now, and it comes from my Glam palette. It's a collab palette between Odin's Eye and Angie, and this is how it was looking like last month. I was predicting that I would hit pan on this eyeshadow because the dip was very prominent, and I was also focusing on one part of this eyeshadow, and I had previous uses on that one because it was in my 50 Shades Green last year. I was gonna say last month. No, it was last year, of course. And as of last update, I had 12 uses on this eyeshadow, and then I only had to use it 2 more times to get the pan, and that's how it's looking like today. That's what our pan looks like. It's very teeny tiny, and I used it 1 more time to kind of expand it a little bit even though it's not expanded a lot, but yeah, I'm also planning to use it maybe 2 or 3 more times to expand it and make it a little bit bigger. So I hit pan on this eyeshadow in 14 uses in this project. And if I count the previous uses as well, it took me 28 total uses to hit pan on this eyeshadow. I feel like if I would have used it more evenly, even a little bit more evenly, it would have taken me a lot longer to get the pan. I was just focusing on one place and that led me to pan. Either way, I'm so excited with the pan we have, and this one is rolling out as well. Oops, I forgot to swatch it because my color story was so pretty. So yeah, that's how it was looking like, or it's still looking like this. But yeah, I'm rolling out both of these eyeshadows, and I paired both of these eyeshadows a lot. So I would put it in my crease and then I would use it as a lid eyeshadow. Now let's move on to the next eyeshadow, and I was working on 2 eyeshadows from my Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette, and the first eyeshadow I have from this palette is this one called Supreme. So I had rolled it in last month and I used it 8 times since last update, and this is how it's looking like today. As you can see, we have a nice dip going on. We don't have a pan yet, but I feel like I'm super close to pan. I think if I use it like the way I'm using it right now, because I'm putting it in my crease and it shears out really well, so I'm also using it as a blending out shade. So basically I put it in the crease and then just blend it upwards, and it works really beautifully that way. So I was pairing it a lot with another shade that I have in this palette, which is called Sponsored. But yeah, I have a total of 8 uses on this one, and I feel like I'll be able to get pan on this eyeshadow by next update. Oh, next update is going to be the finale of this project. So exciting. So yeah, this is staying in. As you can see, the other pans we have, so all of these 3 pans are from previous Pan Those Eyeshadows update, because these eyeshadows were in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project in the previous months as well. So I'm really happy with all the pans I have in here. This is how the eyeshadow called Supreme looks like. Before we move on to the next eyeshadow, which I have pan on, if you are enjoying this update and you haven't subscribed yet, you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel, because I make a lot of panning videos. And now let's go to our next eyeshadow, which also comes from my Jackie Aina palette, and this is the shade called Sponsored. So let me swatch that out for you guys. This is how Sponsored looks like. I also rolled it in last update. I only had to use it 4 more times since last update to get the pan. And let me show you, this is a huge pan that we have in here. As you can see, the eyeshadow around this pan is also very used and it's thin, so this dip is not centered by any means. I have an even use throughout the pan. And yeah, it didn't only took me 4 uses to hit the pan, because I had a lot of previous uses on this eyeshadow. So prior to rolling it into this project, I had 30 uses on this eyeshadow. So it took me a total of 34 uses to get the pan, but it only took me 4 uses in this project to hit the pan. So I was using Supreme with Sponsored a lot. So I would put Supreme in my crease and then I would put Sponsored on my eyelids, and it turned out to be a beautiful look. I really enjoyed it, and I'm so happy that I have another pan in this palette. I have a total of 4 pans now, and I'm pretty sure that by next update I will get pan on Supreme. Since we're still working on the eyeshadow called Supreme in here, this palette is staying into this project. And moving on to the last eyeshadow, I'd say I have pretty underwhelming progress on this eyeshadow. The last eyeshadow comes from my Glam Palette. This is how it was looking like last update, and this is how it's looking like today. This is the eyeshadow that we are working on. This is how it's looking like swatched. It's the last one right here. I thought that this is something that I would use a lot, but I guess I had other eyeshadows that I was focusing on. This palette got neglected. Like, I was just lazy to bring it out and just use it. So I only have 1 use on this eyeshadow since last update. Yeah, I know, not very great, but I think this is something I'll probably try to focus more this month. But yeah, that one is staying in, and I feel like it's gonna take me a lot longer to hit pan on that eyeshadow either way, because this eyeshadow was also in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project. The dip on this one is very centered and it's very narrow, so as the pan. And it still took me like 17 uses to get the pan on this eyeshadow. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to take a lot longer, but we never know, because this formula is a little bit looser than the matte formula in here. So this palette and this palette, both of them are staying in, and we have to roll in 3 new eyeshadows. And before we roll in 3 new numbers, I just want to mention about my panning percentage. So I have 223 eyeshadows. I have 69 eyeshadows with pan, and this previous month I finished 1 eyeshadow from my Pan That palette as well. Considering all of that, I reached my 30% pan goal. Oh my god, I have like 30% pans in my eyeshadows. So out of all of the eyeshadows I have, 30% of them have pan. So the total number is like 30.94%. Like if I round it off, it becomes like 31%. But I'm like so happy I hit 30% pans by end of this year. That was my arbitrary goal. But yeah, that makes me really excited, and let's roll in 3 new eyeshadows. So I have 153 eyeshadows without pan, and out of those 153 eyeshadows, I only have 135 eligible eyeshadows to roll from, because I'm only counting shimmer eyeshadows from my Morphe 35 or Supernatural Glow palette, because all of the matte eyeshadows in that palette are very neutral leaning, which can be very similar with my pan that palette. So I just don't want those eyeshadows to compete with each other. And that's the reason we are going to be selecting 3 eyeshadows from 1 to 35. Okay, let's generate the first number. It's 72, 9, and come on, 77. Okay, let me see what those eyeshadows are. What a coincidence. Number 72, it comes from my Glam palette. I mean, and that's the very first eyeshadow in here, which does not have any name. It's a bone colored matte eyeshadow. So yeah, we'll see how this one goes. And number 9 comes from my Jackie Aina palette again. So this time it is a matte eyeshadow, and this one is called Credit. So this is how Credit looks like. It's a brown burgundy sort of shade. Oh my god, I need to give you guys a swatch. Alright, this is how my color story is looking so far. So the first one is the eyeshadow from my Jackie Aina palette. It's called Supreme. And this one is from my Glam palette. So it has some purple shimmers in it. And this one is also the one that we rolled in, like right now. And that's the very first bone colored shade. And this is how Credit looks like from Jackie Aina palette. It's a nice plummy shade. I feel like it's gonna work so well with deepening up my eye looks, because now with the deep purple shade gone from my Bandit palette, I really need something to deepen up my outer V. It technically has black, but a color is nice, and I really like the undertone of this eyeshadow as well. And the last eyeshadow, it also got rolled in from this palette. I mean, it's crazy. So the eyeshadow we rolled in is this one. It's for number 77. So that was 72 and that's 77. I'm not counting this one because it has pan already. So I'm very proactive with updating my list of eyeshadows that have pan, that don't have pan, so that it's easier for me to roll in the eyeshadows. And this is a really nice periwinkle eyeshadow. So let me give you guys a swatch because I'm really curious to see how this one looks. It feels like I've only used it 2 or 3 times, maybe even once. Anyway, ooh, that's pigmented. Okay, let me build it up. And this is my new color story. I don't feel like it screams fall to me because I'm still going to consider November a fall month. But this is something that is going to work for holidays for sure. Nonetheless, this whole color story is very cohesive. I feel like everything in here goes with each other. I can create a really nice look incorporating all of these 5 shades, I think. I should do that. I think I'll do that, and I'll try to remember to take a picture. I have so many ideas now. Like I can put it in my crease and then I can put it all over my eyelid, and I can do the same for this one as well, like putting this in my crease and putting it on my eyelid, probably deepening it up with this eyeshadow. And this is something that I can like just use for anything. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to use these eyeshadows. And with that, we have come to an end for this video. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching my video. I will see you in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye.